I'm Sloane, and I know basketball. Today's guest played in the league for almost the amount of time I've been alive. His journey from growing up in New Jersey, going straight to the league, and playing on 7 different teams is a story you won't want to miss. Let's get to know Al Harrington. Okay, Al, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah.
So I am 17 years old, and I'm a junior in high school, which I know is a little different from the usual people that interview you.
Right.
So don't be scared, I promise. I don't bite. Us 17-year-old girls are fierce, but this is going to be a fun episode. So I like to start off by asking you, because you are not 17,
right,
what you were like when you were 17.
When I was 17, I think I was a lit young man.
Okay, lit young man.
I was obviously playing basketball.
Yes.
I was one of the best players in the country during that time. I'm gonna be honest, I was really focused on basketball during that time. Mm-hmm. I was trying to decide if I wanted to go to college or wanted to go pro, which I ended up deciding to go pro. Yes. Didn't have as many resources as I had once I became a pro. So, during that time, I was just really laser focused on basketball. I come from a religious family, so my mom made sure we was going to church and different things like that. So, that was the 17-year-old Al trying to figure it all out.
Gotcha. So like you said, you were one of the best players in the country. Mm-hmm. You were the Gatorade Player of the Year. Right. I think USA Today's National Player of the Year. How are you able to deal with the hype?
Honestly, I think it would have been a lot different if it was now, right? Because remember when I was a long time ago.
Of course, no NIL, anything.
Yeah, no NIL, no social media, none of those things or whatever. So the hype was more like very localized to just kind of where I was and kind of in my head, but I don't think I was getting kind of the national attention that a lot of these kids deal with now. So, I think because of that, I was able to, pretty much deal with it. And for me, it happened kind of at the end of my high school career. It wasn't like I was like a LeBron James or something where I was like being hyped since I was 12 years old. And I think that's when you things can get to your head and stuff like that. But I think because I was more of a late bloomer or whatever, I think I was able to handle it pretty well.
Were you a late bloomer just like with your game, or did you just actually grow really late?
So I had my biggest growth spurt between 8th grade and my freshman year. I finished my 8th grade year I was 5'10", and in 2.5 months I was 6'4".
2.5 months.
Yeah, I grew like.
Oh my God! Did you sleep like every day for like 12 hours?
I was sleeping. I was in a lot of pain. I had something I'm sure you might have had it too. As being an ex-athlete, Osgood Slaughter's, which is like a growth pain like in your knees or whatever. So I dealt with that. So I didn't play a lot that summer. So I was in the house a lot in pain or whatever.
Drinking a lot of milk.
Yeah, milk and eating a lot of McDonald's.
Really? That's like the key to growing?
I give McDonald's a lot of credit for, who
No
I am
way.
today.
Oh my gosh. That's funny because I feel like so many kids now are trying so hard to grow. Like they'll do everything to grow. Right. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean to my little brother, but he takes like gummies every morning to try to get taller. Really? And I've seen people on TikTok literally putting like splints in their legs and like actually physically making their legs longer.
Tell your little brother to just eat Flintstones.
Okay, I'm sure that's going to help him. Yeah, they got me. Okay, and McDonald's, like you said. It's
No,
a great ad for McDonald's.
McDonald's ingredients change now. So
it's a little worse now. You think when you were a kid it was like healthier?
Yeah, it was like real beef and all that kind of stuff.
Do you know that?
Totally
I feel like,
different.
I think it's fake.
Yeah.
Do you believe in those conspiracy theories?
I do.
That it's fake meat?
Yeah, have you ever bought a Big Mac and just sat it on your counter for months and months and months and see it never...
I unfortunately haven't.
You should try it.
I should. Okay, thanks. Speaking of McDonald's, I think it's really fun if you're traveling to go to different McDonald's in different countries. I was just in Japan for spring break, and I went to McDonald's in Japan. It's a completely different thing in every country. It's
then they have like shrimp burgers.
Yes, very weird things. Some of that's a little crazy. I think we can just stick with our McDonald's. So I want to touch back on something you said earlier, which was that you, as we know, didn't go to college, but while you were in high school, you had to make that choice. Am I going to go to college or am I going to go pro? Mm-hmm. Let's say you, Al, you were 17 now in 2025. NIL exists, social media exists. Would you have gone to college?
Yes.
Let's say the rule didn't,
For sure. Especially if they weren't telling me that I was going to be a guaranteed top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Me being that good during that time, that's a lot of $7 million NIL.
Yeah, you should go and take that check.
So I would definitely go to college and take that check for sure.
If a kid was asking you your advice, should I go pro or should I go to high school, would you be an advocate on bringing that rule back? And would you tell a kid to go straight to the league?
So like I said, it really just depends on like, you know, where they are physically and mentally,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the biggest challenge is, you know, when you get there, making sure that you can, you know, handle the physicality of the game, but also like the mental grind of it and being mature enough to understand that, you know, all the things you did in high school has nothing to do when you get to the pro ranks.
Yeah.
It's a completely, everything's different. The lifestyle, everything, the demands, you know, you're no longer the best player anymore. You know what I'm saying? How do you deal with that? How do you understand like the work ethic to get over the top? So, you know, it would really, all those things would be a variable. I would really sit down and kind of understand like the kid's, you know, his plans, his future, his family, what kind of infrastructure he has before I would decide, you know, or tell him, give him any, you know, advice. But, you know, going pro, you know, for me, obviously worked. You know, I think that with the rule being that they have to go to college for just 1 year is kind of silly. And I think that that's why we see college, you know, basketball has taken a huge hit because of these rules. Because now you have kids that not vested. You can never really, you know, get behind them because in the blink of an eye, they're already gone. You know? So, but, you know, if my son, to your point, or the 17-year-old Al, you know, the foundation and infrastructure I had as a family, I would go pro.
Interesting. You know, it's funny because you made me think about something that I think maybe only really players understand that us fans don't really see, which is whenever guys commit to a college, right? People are so quick to judge, like, oh, he should have gone to this place, he should have gone to this place. But listening to you, I realized how much goes into that choice and how that can really make or break your whole career, which is crazy.
It can. I mean, even at the pro level, right? It all depends on like where you go, right? Right team, right coaching staff. You know, I've seen a lot of players that I feel like, you know, would have been more successful if they went to a franchise or to an organization that was, you know, that you know, had a better infrastructure to support them, you know, compared to going to like some of the terrible franchises.
Yeah, it's the right piece of the puzzle.
I don't want to mention any names,
that's
right?
Nice.
But we know who they are, right? We know the repeat offenders that never make the playoffs and stuff like that.
We do.
So you want to stay far away from them, and you know, try to play on, you know, these teams like the Warriors and, you know,
Go Dubs.
My Knicks, you know, that's hot right now. I hope this comes out in time. We 2-0 against Boston. We about to sweep them boys.
I mean, this is I literally the past 4 days, I keep saying, there's no way the Knicks are going to win. And then they win. Like, what is happening? Give me your take on that. How is that possible that the Knicks just won both games in Boston?
It's just time for New York to stand up.
Okay.
You know, we've been through a lot over these years or whatever. And, you know, we had an unbelievable first round against Detroit. You know, I think that, you know, one game Detroit should have won, and that we should actually went back to Detroit down 3-2. But the basketball guys are taking care of us. And obviously, it's not over. You know, because Boston's a very dangerous team. They've had us down 20 each game, but they haven't been able to finish. So hopefully, we can keep that going.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
New York.
My dad is from New York, and he's a Knicks fan, and I feel like it's funny to see. I've never seen him this happy. I think this is the happiest he's ever been. Like, if the Knicks make it to the finals, I know I'm going to be getting a lot of gifts, and he's not going to care. I could come home and get an F on my math test, and no one would care. As long as the Knicks are doing well, like, that's money. And so I'm really hoping that the Knicks continue to win. So now I want to talk a little bit about your NBA career. I do agree from what we talked about you as a 17-year-old. I think you were a lit young man, like you said, and to take the words out of your mouth. But now we're going to talk about your NBA career. What was your I made it moment?
My I made it moment, I don't know if I really had one per se, but I think that, you know, during my first year, there was an NBA lockout. And we had a meeting in New York where all the players were kind of there to kind of get an update on like when we were going to play. And I think that when I walked in a room and I saw like Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley and David Robinson and all the guys who were like my heroes growing up all in one room, and like I'm in business with them now, like I'm like one of their
like your peers.
I was just like, oh my God, I'm here.
No,
so
that's crazy.
That would probably be it.
Is there any specific moment where you think you were part of a rookie's I made it moment? Like you just totally crushed a rookie and you were like, at this moment's like that for them, or you don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I mean,
I'm sure you were like that for a bunch of people.
You know, I think that we all kind of trained to kind of be cool, even though we want to fan out. You know what I'm saying? For certain people or whatever. But so yeah, I'm sure it is, because you know, when that you say that, it has been a couple players that have told me I was their favorite player and stuff like that.
That's
you know
cool.
what I'm saying? So that probably would be that kind of moment.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to the Knicks. So there was a stretch on the Knicks when you were averaging 20 a game. How'd you deal with that pressure of being that guy in New York? Because when you're that guy on the Knicks, that's way different than being that guy on the Hornets. Like Charlotte does not care as much as New York does, you know? So I want to hear what that was like.
Well, I felt the pressure. Like out of every place that I played, the Garden was the only place that before every game I had butterflies. Right?
Really?
Just because I never wanted to get booed, because the Knicks fans are something else. Because they will boo you, and then they'll love you, and then they'll boo you again, you know? And I had a couple teammates that I played with that would like get booed consistently. Like even one of them that started, and they would literally say his name in the starting lineup, and they will boo, you know? So it was always something that I never wanted to be a part of, and I can't say that I never got booed in my 2 years of playing there.
What was the specific reason you got booed?
No, I said I did not.
Oh, you didn't? You never got booed. Okay,
good.
That's like, you should make like a book about that. Like how to never get booed by Knicks fans, because I swear everyone's always having someone to boo. Who was the craziest fan that you saw sitting courtside at MSG?
Craziest fan. So there's a guy out of in Indiana. We call him the sign guy.
Yes.
Or whatever, so he'll be there, you know, tomorrow for the playoff game. He always has like these crazy signs or whatever. So I would say he's probably the most animated fan courtside that's been consistent. And then there's also another guy in Toronto. He wears
the guy. I know him.
I know his name. It's my guy.
I'm pretty sure he's like in the Hall of Fame. Like he something crazy like that.
Right, and he's pretty intense on the sideline too. So those guys stick out for me.
Any celebrities that you saw, you looked over and you were like, oh my God, they're sitting courtside watching me play?
A little bit. I mean, in New York all the time.
Yeah, everywhere.
You know, you got all the actors and actresses. You know, obviously Spike Lee's there all the time. You know, I used to think it'd be cool when like Jay-Z used to come watch us play and stuff like that. But yeah, it's always somebody in New York.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I feel like this is more of a teenage girl thing, I feel like, than a grown man thing. But sometimes there's like influencer drama that like happens when people come to games with their boyfriends and like sit courtside and stuff like that. Like when Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet were sitting courtside, I was freaking out because I was like, oh my God, like, this is their hard launch, whatever. And then I realized no NBA player probably has any idea what a big moment this is.
So what is that? You got to educate me. What is a hard launch?
Okay, a hard launch. Okay, so there's a soft launch and there's a hard launch, because now everything goes on social media, right? So sometimes you're dating someone, right, but it's not like a thing on social media. And then a soft launch is, let's say you were like walking on the beach, right? And you like took a picture of someone like standing out in like the ocean or something, but no one knew who it was. But this was like your soft launch, like you're showing you're in a relationship. And then a hard launch is like the first time you like, in their case would be like go in public, but then it would also be like the first time you actually post like a specific selfie, like, okay, now people know I'm dating them. Like it's not rumors anymore.
Got it.
You know? Now you know, you can tell your daughter, you can be like, oh, I saw that hard launch.
She might even know.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. Okay, I'm sure she's cool.
You just made me cool. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Well, I feel like you're cool. So, do you think you're a cool dad?
I'm the coolest dad. My kids always tell me I'm the best dad. Even though I'm the only one they know.
True. But
do
do you think best and cool aligns?
It means a lot.
I don't know if best and cool are like synonymous.
That's true. So I'm definitely the coolest, because I mean, look at the way I dress.
Yeah, okay, that's true. You're a pretty cool dad. Like I feel like when you go to like even like a performance at school, like I'm sure the other dads are like fat and have like beer bellies, and like then you show up and it's like, oh, you mogged them. Do you know what that means?
I come with what does that mean?
I'm making you see. This is a thing. I'm making you cool. And mogged is like when you're like, oh, like it's basically just like being better than someone. But like the actual way it works,
mogged them.
Mogged them.
Mogged them.
Right. The way it works is like if you take a picture with someone and one person in the picture is like really cool looking and the other person's like really ugly, but like that guy mogged him. Okay. So you're mogging the other dad.
Right,
you can also say that to your kid.
I'm definitely
I'm really taking credit. If you win like coolest dad award, I feel like I need to like get
I had to find out what a gat was.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know what a gat
messed me up. I was like, what?
I got something in my eye, stuff like that. Yeah. How did you learn? You asked your kids?
Yeah, she kept saying, I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my God, you have so much to learn. So much to learn. All right, so let's get back to basketball, Al. So how often did you wear a new sneaker when you played?
Every 2 games.
Every 2 games. And you were never getting like blisters or your feet weren't hurting?
No, I mean, I had insoles or whatever, so I had custom insoles that I would slide in and out of the shoes or whatever. Yeah. But I always felt like as hard as I played, it was a 2-game limit. And then, you know, sometimes I'll get hot in a shoe.
Oh, so then you want to keep going.
So I get a little superstitious and be like, you know, I might want to keep this one going back-to-back 25-point nights. Yeah. Just kind of keep it going. So every once in a while I would wear more, but mostly it was always 2.
Yeah. Was there a certain shoe brand or a certain shoe style that you always loved?
Of course, Nike, you know, and Jordans. whenever they would allow me to wear Jordans, because believe it or not, in the NBA, like they don't, if you have a Nike contract, they want you to wear Nikes, not Jordans.
Not Jordans, yeah, which is confusing.
Which is weird. You think they're pushing the same thing,
yeah.
but you're not. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, they run those two companies differently, But, every once in a while they would send me some, exclusive Jordans, and I'll just wear them and just have to worry about the consequences.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? You can get fined.
I'm like, I look fly out there.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So you always had to guard some legends at the 4 position, right? For instance, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, etc. What was your mindset guarding players like that? And then also, who was the best 4 that you ever played against?
Best power forward. So it's funny, like when I first came in the league, I actually played against like Karl Malone. You probably don't even know who that is.
Well, I do, the mailman.
Yeah,
Sloane knows.
Sloane really knows everything. My bad.
Yeah, come on. Okay,
so I played like Karl Malone. Obviously, I played Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
KG, Tim Duncan. So out of those two, like it was 2 different kind of games, right? Because with Kevin, it was very intense, and he's like talking trash the whole time. So, with Tim, you could just kind of focus on the game. But with Kevin, you had to focus on the game and the mental aspect of him like calling you names, and you gotta like step up and be like, who you talking to, and then like he's really like talking to himself the whole time. And you had to learn that. So it took me probably like 7 years before I realized it. Like he's not even talking to me; he's talking to himself. And this last story, I told my daughter the other day, because she, when she plays certain players, like or like she'll like be up, don't like them or whatever, and she like, so she'll play harder. So I told her, I said, sometimes you got to just walk up to the girl and be like, you call me a what? Oh, for real? That's what you call me? Even though the little girl never said anything. And get yourself going, because that's what Kevin used to do.
So he was like completely delusional, just making up stuff.
Like literally no one said anything to him. He like, what you say? Oh, for real? You like, I didn't even say nothing to you, bro.
I would like start crying. I would freak out. Like that's a crazy tactic. Oh my God. I'm sad I'm not playing soccer anymore. I would definitely use that. I always was sad. I felt like, I don't know, maybe people have different experiences, but for me in my youth sports career, no one ever trash talked.
Really?
Like the girls were never trash talking, and I was like, give it to me. Like I wanted to, and no one ever did it. No, actually, except for me. I got in a huge fight in middle school girls soccer, and that was the only time. Because here's the thing: people take it so personal. I said one thing, she started crying. She told her friends she hated me. Like I'm like, it's not that deep.
What did you say, Sloane?
I can't say it on here. My parents are getting mad at me. Okay, Al, don't make me get in trouble. If I was your daughter, you probably wouldn't want her to say to the world, right? What she said.
Well, I can hear her a lot of times. She has a potty mouth. And then one day my wife put a little microphone on.
So you got to hear the whole thing?
We heard everything. I was just like, yo, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But they talked the whole time. That's why I'm surprised. That's surprising. No one said anything.
Because here's the thing. As you can tell, I'm a chatter. I love to talk. And so I would actually sort of do the Kevin Garnett thing where I would talk under my breath. It wasn't to anyone, and it didn't really have to do with anyone. I was just either mad or bored. And so I would be talking to myself. But then sometimes as a forward, it's quite different than basketball where it goes so quickly back and forth. I would be standing up there and the game would be the whole other way. And sometimes I would sing Hamilton because it was like the Broadway musical Hamilton, because it was always stuck in my head. And then I would realize everyone can hear me. This isn't like a just me thing. So I had to work on that. But yeah, no, I definitely wish that there was more trash talking. Maybe one day I'll get to play in the NBA celebrity game. Okay. And I'm an awful basketball player. Right. I know it better than I can play it. Yeah. But I could use your trash talking advice.
Yeah, and we could teach you too.
Thank you.
I won't charge you a lot.
Oh, that's really nice. Actually, Baron Davis tried to teach me how to dunk. It didn't go well.
Oh, yeah.
But
he was,
Yeah.
That's one of my guys.
That's one of your guys? Yeah. Yeah, but unfortunately, I couldn't jump as high as him, so it didn't really, I wasn't able to.
You got to lower the rim.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's fine. Yeah. And you can just be delusional. You can tell yourself it's 10 feet, but it's really not. Exactly. So now I want to move on to the current NBA. Are you a fan of today's current NBA, or you're being a boring old head and you just liked it when you played?
Yeah, I'm not a hater.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I was a hater, I couldn't be cool.
Yeah,
right?
True.
So, I love the game today. I love the talent level. I just wish they played a little different. Okay. But I
different in what way?
Just, I wish they cared a little bit more on the defensive end. I wish that, they played, they just played basketball. Right now, I just feel like everything is just like, get the ball up the court and shoot a three as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Right? And it's taking out a lot of like the thinking part of the game. But, outside of that, I love it. I have a 7-year-old son who I think is, NBA worthy and caliber. So I gotta love the game, right?
Yeah.
I gotta get him there. So I got like a 12-year, run to get my little man in the league.
Yeah, for sure. That's exciting. One day he'll be on Sloane Knows. I can't wait. That's going to be so cool.
Either.
Other than Knicks players, because obviously you're a big Knicks fan, who's your favorite current player in the league and why?
Favorite current player in the league? I love Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Young guys, I love Shea.
Who doesn't?
I love Joker.
That's surprising to me. I hate him.
Why do you hate Joker?
Well, I'm a Warriors fan. And so it's just like obviously he's incredible, right? But like I like the guys that like you look at them and you're like, okay, like they have aura. Like I get why they're good. It's fun to watch. Like Jokic is it's just annoying because he's fat and bald, no offense. Yeah. And then it's like, and then he just goes, he's a dad bod, and then he just drops 60 on your team and you're just like, ugh. Like I remember there was this one game, I think last season, where it was a regular season game, and usually when I watch Warriors game, I'm doing my homework during it. So I'm like looking down, looking up, whatever. And the Warriors were winning, and I think there was like one of those weird things where it's like literally 1 second left. So the only thing they could do was like quickly catch it and like go. And I'm doing my homework. I'm like, okay, the Warriors won. And then I look up and I see Jokic like this, and I'm like, you're kidding. And he just chucks it from half court and makes it. It's just like those moments. I know if you're a Nuggets fan, I get that you love that, but then I hate it. You know?
Right. And then my new favorite player is Jalen Brunson. I know you said no Knicks, but
King of New York.
Big body Brunson is special.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like NBA nicknames? Like I love calling Cat Big Bodega because it's just like so stupid. I think it's funny. Do you have a favorite current nickname?
I don't. Let me think. It's probably Joker, right? I think
that's a good one.
What's another good one?
Well, I like this one. Brandon Pajimski, people call him the Pythagorean theorem.
The who?
So you
spell
know,
that.
I don't know how to spell it. It's A squared plus B squared equals C squared, which is only funny to me because that's exactly like what I'm doing in math, and then that's his nickname. Pythagorean, probably Pyth, Pythag. Okay, I'm good. Why don't you try?
No, I don't want to.
You're not trying?
I can't spell unless it's on the phone and it's spelled.
Oh, and then you have autocorrect, so that's cheating. But
I stopped spelling.
So you wouldn't really be in a spelling bee. An NBA spelling bee would not be.
Well, when I was a kid, I was in every spelling bee.
Really?
I promise in school. I always lost. I didn't come close to winning, but I always made it to like the final stage to get
At
on
least
the stage
you got
in
there.
School. Yeah, every year I made it to the stage, but like third word, I was just.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It was too stressful.
They throw out the craziest word. I didn't even know these things were words, and then they're like medicines, and like people have to spell them. It's so random. What advice would you give to some of the young guys in today's NBA if you were their vet?
Man, just continue to perfect your craft.
Yeah.
Never get complacent. Understand that the game is continuing to evolve every year, so you have to kind of evolve with it. So when you have that mindset, you're going to always be looking every summer to kind of add something to your game to be a better player, right? That's the reason why I was able to play 16 years. I always remember the young Al Harrington that walked in the locker room and saw all these old guys in there, and I was like, oh, I'm better than them. I wasn't. Eventually, I got there very quickly, 2 to 3 years, where, now the team is deciding that, we're going to go forward with the young guys and get rid of the veteran guys. But then once I became that guy, I remembered these young guys are coming in like, oh, Al's terrible. I'm about to, but I had to hold him at bay. So the way I was able to do that is I had to keep evolving my game. So I just had to keep working.
Yeah. It's funny because you just mentioned how you played 16 years in the league, and I was just thinking about how that's my whole life.
Right.
Right? Like, your 16 years of your life wasn't anything. That's my whole life. That's crazy. That's so much time in the NBA. Like, I can't believe it. That's insane. Speaking of that advice, if someone came to you and was like, I'm a rookie right now, and I want to play as long of an NBA career as you did, which is not common. It really isn't. I mean, I think the average NBA career is like 4 years. What advice would you give?
Take care of your body. Obviously, take care of your money just in case it doesn't work out.
Just in case, okay.
But, for real, how I look at it as professional athletes, like, yes, people judge us by what we do on the court, but how I always perceived it was like, they're paying me to be in the best shape possible, right? And if I'm in the best shape possible and I continue to work on my game, I should have longevity in the game.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I made it. I got here. And the way that you stay here is by doing that, by taking care of yourself, working on your game, and being a good citizen, right? Stay out of trouble. And you'll find yourself in there 10 plus years. Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, it is important to stay in shape. But when you did have a cheat meal, what would your cheat meal be?
Oh my God, so many things. I mean, I love. So during my career, I could not go to bed without eating cereal at night.
That's
every
so
night.
weird. So breakfast for dinner was like your thing.
Don't miss bowl of cereal. I went through my ice cream phases. I went through my cake phases and different things, but I still had the same sweet tooth. My daughter, my soccer player daughter, she has it just like me. So as much as I'm like, we're complaining, like, stop eating sweets. It's like,
then you do
all
it
the
too.
sweets are mine that she's eating, right? But yeah, so all kind of stuff. But cereal was my main cheat meal.
I also feel like if I was in the NBA and I was trying to stay in shape, the last team I'd want to be on was either the Knicks or the Lakers, because those cities have such good food and like they're such like big cities with so many different dessert options, and I would get so carried away. Like I feel like whenever like you're in New York City, you're like walking on the street and there's some crazy, like I've been to a place in New York City where it's set up like it's an ice cream shop, but then it's cookie dough, all different flavors. Like if I was on the Knicks, I'd just go there every day, and I don't think I would stay in the league for that long. So I'm impressed that you were able to eat that stuff and say it.
I worked out hard. That's
okay. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, Al, the Luka Mavericks Lakers trade obviously shocked the world. I want to hear what your opinion is on that trade.
That was a ballsy trade.
It was.
It was very ballsy. So Nico, the general manager there, is one of my best friends.
Wow. Okay.
So at the end of the day, I support him in his
Nico.
vision.
Love that.
But for the city, I know it was very tough.
Yeah.
Tough pill to swallow, as they say. If you've really been watching Luka and stuff like that, like my only concern would be for him long term is like, how long is his body gonna have?
Yeah. You don't think he's listening to your advice of staying in shape?
Not at all.
Maybe he's going to the cookie dough places.
For sure.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And and what happens is it sucks, right? Because all the European players that come to the United States, right? They eat food that's like not processed and not as good as our food. So when they get here, like I have a bunch of teammates, like they get here and they come in, they weigh 180 pounds, and then by the time we get done with the season, they're like 210.
Yeah.
And it's just because they found cookies.
Yeah.
And they found ice cream.
That they didn't know. Yeah. That reminds me of the Giannis tweets. Like if you go back to his old Twitter tweets. Is that how you say it? Tweets? Yeah. Anyway, X. No, it's called X now, so it's not even tweets. Whatever. If you go back to his old tweets, Giannis is like, he like has like broken English, and he tweets like, smoothie, what is a smoothie? Or like, I just found out what Oreos are, and like all that stuff.
And when they find it, they just binge, and then it kind of gets out of control. Or whatever. But yeah, I think they obviously, like, with Luka, I'm a big fan. I think he's one of the greatest players ever. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my concern is always at the end of the season, he kind of flames out just because it's a long season, one, and if you're not taking care of yourself along the way, when it gets to the playoffs, it becomes so intense, and the games are like every other day. It just becomes a different kind of demand on your body. It could be concerned, especially if you're sitting there thinking about paying them $400 million.
Totally. Well, now the trade's in the past. Yep. It happened. It happened. We don't have to hate on your bestie, Nico. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure he had some thought going in his head for why you did it. I'm curious. Do you think LeBron should stay with the Lakers?
I mean, he's 48 years old, 50 years old?
No, he's like 41.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why would he
You're
move
literally
around?
older than him.
Well, why would LeBron move? Like, he's too old to be moving around now, right?
And how many years do you think he has left?
So, honestly, I personally think that he could play 5 more years if he wanted to, because he takes care of himself.
Yeah.
Right? He has, like whatever. He has the body that can do it. But I personally think this is his last year coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
I just think because LeBron's done so much for the game. And as we know about LeBron loves a little bit of attention and stuff like that.
I had the same theory.
So I think that he wants to do a victory tour where they give him cars and give him cool chairs for his house and all the paintings and all that kind of stuff around.
I literally had the exact same thought when people were saying like, that was LeBron's last game. I'm like, guys, let's remember who LeBron James is. He is not going out humbly. Like he wants people to be like, you are the GOAT, and like have every game and be like exactly. Like there's no way that's happening.
They gotta kiss the ring.
So we'll see. I'm excited to see. I feel like he would announce it, right?
Yeah, but maybe training camp next year.
Okay.
Maybe come to training camp and say,
day.
this summer with my family, this is gonna be the last.
Yeah. How did you decide you were gonna retire?
Well, my knee told me I was done.
Okay.
I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, you wanted to just keep going.
I wanted to play till I was 45 too, like LeBron.
Yeah.
But my knee said, Al, it's time to go home, buddy. So that's that's what happened to me. I had a botched knee surgery that went bad, and 2 years later, I couldn't do it anymore.
You decided you couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. Okay. So Al, let's put on the GM hat for a second. If you were to propose one trade this offseason, it could be any 2 teams involved. 3 team trades exist. What would the trade be?
Well, obviously, the hot person right now that needs to get out of this situation is Giannis.
Okay. Does it really? Is it that dire of a need for him to get out?
I think so.
You think so? Interesting.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right when you just look at it. He doesn't seem like he's bought in anymore, so he's gone, right? So I see places like the Raptors and all that kind of stuff. I think he's box office.
Yeah.
So he has to figure out how to get to a big market, right? I would love to see him go to the Knicks.
I was just gonna say that.
But what would we have to give up to get him, right?
But he's a free agent, so you don't really have to technically. I guess the only thing you'd have to give up would be salary cap.
Yeah, but we still have to make some moves just to pay him, I guess.
Yeah. That's the nice thing, though. Not having to trade someone makes it so much easier.
Yeah, but Giannis would be the problem. I'm not sure where I would send him. Where could they use Giannis? They could use him in Houston.
They could.
But I don't know what they would have to give up because they kind of do need those young guys.
Yeah.
I would love to see him. You know what I would really love to see him now that we're like talking Al GM? Get him to Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Because I feel like there's Shea, and then there's Jalen Williams, J-Dub. There's still a little bit of a fall off, but he doesn't really have his Batman and Robin.
So there's no Chet Holmgren love, Lou Dort. We're just saying.
Love those guys, love them. But I'm talking about if you want to see OKC win the championship.
Okay, then you think that you need to add that one extra.
But somebody
piece,
that's his real too.
Interesting.
Now those two guys, like I forgot about Chet. Like Chet is like he's the white KD.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's just a little too tall to be as smooth as KD.
Yes.
But he just
he's someone who actually needs to start eating junk food a little bit more. He's so skinny. I think his legs are smaller than mine. I'm not even kidding.
But frames like that, you can't put weight on them. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. It's
you know
just
what I'm saying?
come
So he's just always going to be like that. But they do have a lot of good players. But I would like to see like a veteran of that level go there and play with them, and then I think they really would be favorites.
Even though you are older than me, am I allowed to respectfully disagree with you?
Of course.
Okay, here, can I tell you why I'm going to respectfully disagree with you? Shea's a guy who, he can only win if the ball is in his hands. Okay. I love him. I'm not calling him selfish, right? But he's a guy that needs to take so many shots. I mean, he gets to the free throw line. That's how they win, right? And then you put Giannis on his team, who's arguably the best player in the league, and he now has to learn how to be this like second option. He's practically the MVP. I don't think that that's how his game works.
So can I respectfully disagree?
Of course you can, Al.
So yes, I agree with what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to share the ball anyway. Giannis does not need to be the number one option. He doesn't.
You think Giannis can be a number two option?
For sure.
Maybe
play with him
in 5 years.
And then the difference is we're talking about winning, but we're talking about regular season winning. We're talking about championships. What is it going to take to get him over the hump? So this playoffs is still not over yet, so we got to see what happens. Because we may be wrong, right?
Yes.
Or I may be wrong, excuse me. Shea may win it all.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that he can with that cast. I think he needs a solid veteran, certified gangster. You know what a gangster is?
No.
All right.
I know what that is, Al.
Sloane knows everything.
Sloane
I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. I forgot the name of the show.
Yes, please. Remember. Oh my gosh.
But I think he needs something like that. But we're going to see, though, because the playoffs is not
we'll
over
see.
yet.
I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, if Shea, like, wins, and then in his press conference, he's like, what, like, drove you? He's like, well, I watched, like, this amazing podcast with this incredible girl, and then Al Harrington was like, I don't think Shea can win the chip, so then I just, like, it really pushed me to get there. Maybe he'll feel that.
That'd be cool. Then we're going to go viral.
That would be cool. I would actually love that. I hope that happens. Okay, great. All right, so now we are going to play a quick little game, okay? So I'm going to name a couple NBA players from the past, way before I was even alive, boring, and you're going to tell me who their NBA current player comparison is. Are you ready?
All right, cool.
Okay.
Do I have like a time? I got seconds to think about
it. You know what, Al? You can have as much time as you want. Shoot. I mean, don't take like a day.
Okay, I want.
But like, like a couple seconds.
I can say pass too?
Yes, you can say pass. You can do whatever you want. Right. See, Sloane Knows is very chill. You can just do whatever you want, you know?
You were a little scary in the beginning.
I know, I told you. See, I knew you. When Al walked in, I said, are you scared? And he was like, I'm not scared, but I could see it.
Yeah,
I knew you were scared.
Sweat under my
arms. I knew it. I knew it. I am scared. Okay, Chris Webber.
Chris Webber right now, C-Web. Who is a C-Web?
Does singing help you think?
Yeah. But see, I'm making the moves.
I can see,
okay, C-Web. Who plays like C-Web?
I'm asking
I gotta pass.
You're passing. Okay. Tim Duncan.
Who plays like Timmy D? Boring. Just gets it done. Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
All right, or maybe Embiid.
Okay, Embiid. But Tim Duncan doesn't really get his hurt as all. Like, you also have to think about that, right? Like, Embiid, like, he doesn't even play anymore.
You didn't say availability. You just said who plays like somebody.
Yeah, but I like to get, like, that's the point. Is so I like to get, like, deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I would go with, maybe like
I like the cat one. That's funny. Yeah. Big Bodega.
Yeah, Big Bodega.
Big Bodega. Okay.
Can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay, what about Carmelo Anthony?
Who plays like Melo? Now, Melo was a special talent and could score that ball at a high clip, 6'8". You know what's funny? Like the league right now, it's not a lot of those guys. That is mostly like the guards that do all the scoring.
Can I tell you a hack to this exact question?
Who do you think?
Well, if we did this episode in 2 years, you could just say Kai and Anthony. See what I'm saying? Because you could just say it was just like his dad, and you wouldn't really have to think about it.
We don't have the size and.
Oh, so you don't want to say that? That would just be like my hack.
He's not his dad yet.
But he could be.
I'm doing a terrible job at this. I'm so
you're
mad
not
at
doing
myself.
great, Al. Wow.
Okay, shoot somebody else. Who else you got?
Okay, let's say Kobe.
Nobody. Please.
Nobody. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Monta Ellis.
He gonna be mad. Anybody I say. That's another one of my.
Say someone really bad.
That's another one of my good friends. He gonna
get
be like,
pressed.
I play like what? I don't play like he don't play like me. Who y'all got?
Nobody not Darren Fox.
This is becoming a whole conversation.
Yes,
De'Aaron Fox?
All right, they said De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, you're just gonna go with it?
I like De'Aaron Fox. I think Stephon Castle a little bit.
I like that you're listening to the Peanut Gallery.
Yeah. I need my help. Those are my my gallery is very.
I love that Peanut Gallery.
Who? That's a good one. Ask me Melo again. That's
Okay.
a good one.
So Al would like me to redo this whole question to make him seem like he has elite ball knowledge. So let's just pretend again to make him seem clouded and smart. Okay, Al, let me show you my acting skills. Al, if you had to tell me a player in the current NBA who you think plays like Carmelo Anthony, who would it be?
Banchero.
Oh my God, that's such a smart idea. Did you just think about that?
Yes.
You think about things
They
so
got the
quickly.
same
It's
body.
amazing.
They got the same body type.
Wow.
Yeah, they score that thing, dunk it. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. You have such great ball knowledge, Al. Wow, I'm really amazed. I should switch the name to Sloane Knows way less than Al Harrington because you just know so much. It's amazing. Okay, now I want you to give us your all-time starting five with your best ever teammates because in 16 seasons you played with some incredible guys.
Oh my gosh! At the point guard, Baron Davis.
Sloane Knows alum.
The 2 guard, Reggie Miller. The 3, Joe Johnson. The 4, small ball era. I'm gonna go Steven Jackson.
Okay.
And at the 5, Jermaine O'Neal.
Love it. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to when you were on the Warriors. So I feel like we've been talking a lot about when you were on the Knicks, and that's cool if you're a Knicks fan, but I'm a Warriors fan, so I want to talk about the Dubs. So let's go to the We Believe Warriors, and I want to do a little bit of team superlatives. So you know, like in a high school yearbook, they do like, who's the most likely to succeed? Who's the most likely to be president? We're going to do stuff like that, but with the We Believe Warriors, okay? Are you ready?
Yep.
Great. Who stayed out the latest or showed up the latest to practice?
Steven Jackson.
Okay. If Uber was a thing then, who would have had the worst Uber rating?
Probably this kid named Mikael Petrus.
Okay. Why?
Just because you never knew what he was talking about.
Okay. He put on, wait, actually, this is an important question. This is off topic. When you go in your Uber, you know how you can put like preferences, like the air conditioning, talking, whatever. What are your preferences?
Yeah, mine just no talking. Keep the car temperature around 65 degrees.
Oh, you have very precise. I don't even do, like, wow.
I ride a lot of Uber.
Bougie guy. Okay, I see.
I know
no
what
talking.
I know what I like.
So if they say hi, you're mad.
Very.
I can tell. You're
3
like
stars.
pissed.
You're
Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew you were that type
I had
of
one
guy.
in Vegas the other day, old man, he talked to me all
You were just like,
I was like, he's cooked.
what's your Uber rating? Do you know it?
Mine is like 4.78.
Okay, that's impressive. I actually have a 5-star, but
I don't know why I'm 4.78, but that's another thing.
yeah, it's not as good as mine. But
Somebody
it's
hated on
pretty
me,
close.
of
Yeah,
course.
probably. It was me.
Was
I
it?
hacked into the Uber app and I
okay.
changed yours to be like that. Yeah,
That's
because I just decided to be a hater.
Right.
I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You're going on vacation, and you can bring one teammate. Who are you bringing?
During that time, I probably would have brought I probably put Jason Rich.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the We Believe Warriors, but nowadays, right?
Okay.
So you have one phone call to save your life as 45-year-old Al. You're not like young and cool anymore, no offense. Who do you call and why?
On the current team?
Yes, it had to be someone who's on the We Believe Warriors, but you're calling them today in 2025.
Oh, I'll probably call Steven Jackson.
Why? Do you think he would just come save you?
Yeah, that's my dog.
That's so nice
he
of
has
him.
to.
He has
we
to?
kind of both owe each other a lot. So I feel
Interesting.
like
He owes you big time?
He better pull up.
Do you play 2K with your kids ever?
No.
You don't. Do you know how 2K works?
I kind of get it. But
Okay, do you know that ratings, the lowest you can get is a 25 and the highest you can get is a 99?
Yeah.
You know that.
I know
okay,
that.
Cool. So your only NBA 2K rating was from when you were on the Warriors from 2006 to 2007, which is the year I was born. So exciting.
It's like 75, right?
You're being you're going too much in the future. We gotta you know what I mean? Be like,
all right.
Chill. Okay, so you have to tell me, I'm gonna tell you different categories and you're gonna guess what you think your rating was.
All right, cool.
Okay? I think you're gonna be happy with it. From what you just said, I think you're gonna be happy. Okay. What is your free throw rating?
Oh, like 72.
69. Okay, what I love the peanut gallery. Okay, what was your 3-point shot?
Oh, that had to be like 93.
89.
What?
Yeah, I know. Okay, strength.
I'm so close. Oh, for sure, 98.
I'm shocked by this one. It's a 68.
My strength?
Yes, and I'm looking at you right now. I'm like, that can't be possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know what they were on, but
Yeah, that was
something was
crazy.
weird
Yeah.
going on then.
Must
I don't
be-
who were they like comparing you to? Like Hulk? Like I'm confused. Like what was
Yeah.
going on there?
68.
Now, okay, your driving dunk.
Oh, okay. That probably was low. That was like a 70.
No, this is 85.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I'm confused.
I never used to drive and dunk for real.
Okay, what about stamina?
Oh, that's like an 89.
No, that's a 95. They really believed that you could just
So I
run
had good
forever.
stamina, no strength.
Yeah, no strength. You were just like a
Unbelievable.
really skinny guy who could just run forever. That's how you would explain. Okay, mid-range shot.
Mid-range, now I'm guessing, 87.
Oh, I thought you were gonna get it. 81.
Damn it.
You haven't gotten any of them right yet. So let's hope you get this one right. What is your speed?
I know that they say I got stamina, no strength.
Yeah, for this made-up version of yourself
So
that
I
isn't
gotta
real.
be pretty fast.
Yeah.
Was I 83?
69.
What?
The peanut gallery is so immature. Okay, I'm the kid here, and I'm not laughing at this, and the peanut gallery is. Okay, and then now what do you think your overall rating was?
That's 77.
83. I'm confused, what their logic was here. There's a lot going on.
83 is good, bro.
Yeah, no, that's actually really good.
I'm not mad
That's
at that.
actually really good.
I'm not mad at that. I'll take that.
Okay, so you'll talk to the 2K people and you'll tell them you're happy.
Yeah.
Nice.
With Ronnie Fig or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Ronnie 2K, Sloane Knows alum, obviously.
And if you talk to him before me, let him know.
I did know he was on Sloane Knows.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
he's on there already?
Yeah, everyone was on here. Come on. Everyone was
You're
on.
lit.
Yeah, I know.
You're really lit.
Exactly, I know. Thank you. Because Sloane knows.
Right.
I know. I already know. I don't need.
It was the
to tell
cocky name that everybody's
Exactly,
like,
right?
I gotta go into this show that she
Exactly.
doesn't know anything.
Exactly. But then they realize when they're on, you're like,
really
she knows
knows
everything.
everything.
Okay, so we're now going to play our last game. This is the last segment. This is called Sloane Knows Your Game. But do you, Al? I'm going to ask you trivia questions about yourself.
Oh, this is easy.
And let's see how well you can do.
Easy.
Now, Al, I know that you have made tens of millions of dollars in your NBA career, which is great. But are you incentivized by some $1 bills if you get the question right?
Yes.
Let's
I
go.
love money.
Yeah,
Let's go.
exactly. Any money counts. So if you get a question right, I will give you a $1 bill. This is my tooth fairy money.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. It's not. Okay. You were runner-up in Sixth Man of the Year voting in 2003. Who won that year?
Oh my God. I'm gonna go Jamal Crawford, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong. Anton Jameson.
Oh my
So
God.
money still up for grabs.
Oh my goodness.
In your final NBA season, what percentage did you shoot from the free throw line?
It was like 74%.
77. Oh, you're so close, Al. This is so close.
I
It's
need
George
that. I
Washington. It's so
need
close. You
that
can do so
money.
much with this in this economy.
Yes,
you can buy
I
a
need it.
house.
I need it.
You averaged a career high in points with the Knicks in 2008. How many points did you average?
20.2.
Oh my God, I was so excited to give you this, but it was 20.7.
Oh.
I wish I could just like rip it in half and give you the half, because that was so close. How many total points did you score in high school?
You don't even know that, because
I
don't.
do.
No
I
way.
do. Sloane knows.
It was like at 1,000.
Okay.
1,098.
1,278. Actually, it's really cool. I found this number in an article written about you from 1998, and it's like it was an interview with you when you were 17, which is like the exact idea of Sloane Knows. So cool. But okay, you have to get $1, and I feel like I was being like too confident about your knowledge, because like I brought so many $1 bills, and there's 2 questions left, and you still didn't win any.
I haven't gotten $1 yet.
So in 16 seasons, how many regular season games did you play?
That's unbelievable. I think was it 986?
You keep getting so close. 981.
Oh,
so close, Al. So close. Okay, I actually have faith in you for this one, and this is a double one. So if you win, you could actually get $2, which would now allow you to buy probably like a whole lollipop at the gas station, okay? Very excited. You were drafted 25th in the 1998 draft. Who was drafted 24th, and who was drafted 26th?
I have no idea.
Why don't you guess?
24. Wow, I have no idea. It was a dude named Ronnie Brewer, 24? No?
I'll let you have a few guesses on this one. Let's see. Okay, just for...
Give me the initials.
Okay, well, before that, just because I'm going to see if you can do it with this, the team that had the pick before you was the Spurs, so they passed up on you. Awkward. And then the 26th team was the Lakers.
I have no idea. It was so long ago.
I'll give you their initials. FL is the one before you, and the one after you is SJ.
FL played for the Spurs. Unbelievable.
Okay, you want me to tell you, and you get no money, sadly?
No
so I get to
money.
keep it all, yay.
I needed these $2.
Yeah, you really needed it. I know, and you didn't get it. Sad.
Hold on, Frank.
Oh, I know what you can do. You can just sell your necklace, and you'll probably get $2.
Damn,
Okay.
it's not real?
I'm kidding.
That's crazy. So come
No,
at me
it's
like that?
$2,
At the end, that's how you going to just come at me like that, Sloane?
Okay, you want me to tell you the players?
Yeah.
Ready? Felipe Lopez.
Oh, my God.
Do not act like you knew that. You did not know that.
I mean, I know Felipe.
Okay, but you
Felipe
did not-
got picked before me, good.
Yeah.
He was
I'm
the
surprised.
Lakers.
You seem like the guy who would have like known everyone drafted before you to like
To be
be mad at them.
mad,
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And then right after you was Sam Jacobson.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have thought
Yeah, you
about
wouldn't have
Sam.
known that.
I know where both of them went to school. Can I
Okay,
get
tell me.
$2 for
Sure.
that? St. John's
Yes.
and Stanford,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
But that was close.
Same colors.
Wait. Al, thank you so much for being on Sloane Knows. You get $1 for coming on my podcast. Thank you so much. You probably
With my
get paid so
$2
much
chain.
money. Yeah, exactly, for your $2 chain. That just made your chain worth $3 now. That's amazing. Okay, Al, this is my final question for you. I want you to nominate a Sloane Knows guest, but here's the twist. You actually have to help me get them on.
All right, somebody that would be good.
Yes, and you have to help. They have to be your friend.
J.R. Smith.
Oh my God. I mean, that would be a dream. You promise? Like, shake on it?
Promise.
You'll get him on? Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al, so much for being on Sloane Knows. I had so much fun. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Sloane Knows. You can get links to my socials and see behind the scenes fun from Al and I in the show notes, or just search @Sloane Knows on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Remember, that's Sloane with an E.